Evening, folks. Sorry for the wait. Fuad was holding us up, diva settings, but we here. It wasn't Lee's fault that we're late. As I said, it was Fuad's, but Lee, Fuad.
Lateness is greatness. Lateness is greatness.
hey, stop stealing that from Matisse. He's gonna trademark that, He's
gonna I told him anytime, bro. I'm always late everywhere I go. So I told him, you're gonna have to loan me that for a couple of times.
Exactly the same. If you want me to be on time, just don't invite me.
Bruv, just give me half an hour before and I'll be there on time, I promise.
Cool. How you both doing anyway? You good?
Yeah, all good, man. Busy day, but football have to be discussed. It's been a busy 24 hours for us as well. After what was, a quiet month, but there's a lot to dive into, I'm sure. But good.
Yeah, definitely. And Lee, I would ask you how's things for Arsenal transfers, but we know how it is. It's quiet, man. It's quiet over there. But yeah,
I'm just looking at Fabrizio Romano's Twitter feed, and I've just seen Donny van der Beek's gone to Everton.
Oh, that's confirmed, yeah.
Done. Yeah. Wow, that's a good signing.
Not bad. Not bad. I'm just gonna go.
New man coming in as well. That's a. I think Lampard can have a big impact on him as well. He's a similar type of player where they're both kind of space invaders. We were talking about stoppage earlier. I think new manager, they want something fresh. They want something. He's been someone who's been needing at least a life and a manager who will actually get behind him. But
he's a player, man. He's a player. I think the physicality stuff is definitely a point that can't be ignored, because the Premier League, you need to acclimatize to the intensity. But I think technically this guy is still like a really good player. And like you mentioned, the spatial awareness thing is good, i.e. knowing where his teammates are on the football pitch, and then his ability to actually use space to his advantage is even fantastic. Lampard was the king of that, so we'll see. I think for Everton, they're probably delighted with that, because their squad is starving as far as technical quality is concerned.
They've been struggling similarly like us with Tom Davies and Andre Gomez, these half-baked number 10s that are semi-technical but not really got that final eye, not really got
Andre Gomez is technical. Tom Davies.
Andre Gomez, I'm sorry, bro. We're not living off them Benfica days 7 or 8 years ago, brother. We've been watching 3-4 year struggles at Barca. And listen, Sonny's partly to blame as well. After snapping his leg, he ain't really been the same since, because he was cooking for like a little piece, but they've really been struggling. And I think he could be exactly what they need. Sigurdsson as well. Let's not forget, he's kind of been,
Listen,
his name shall not be mentioned.
I want to put that disclaimer out there as well. The Gylfi Sigurdssons, the Mason Greenwoods, all of this stuff, we're not talking about that today. People are doing some nasty things behind closed doors, and they will get their comeuppance. That is not our place to speak on today. Their man are disgusting, and they will get what they deserve. And that's where it goes. So anyone who puts in any comments on Mason Greenwood, I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to give Greenwood any more airtime. There's no point. It's not worth it.
Well said, mate.
Okay, cool. Let's get into it. We're here to talk about the North London clubs. Obviously, Spurs, I think we've been the busier of both sides in terms of incoming players, especially in the last day and a half or so. So let's just start there. Now, Fuad, we had our THFC show literally a number of days ago where we were putting our foot on this board's neck. A day before the window's due to end, or a day and a bit before the window's due to end, Spurs have seemingly got two players over the line in Dejan Kulusevski and Rodrigo Bentancur. First and foremost, are you happy with those two players?
Yes, in a much better position than the stream we were having the other day as well, when we were talking about Sofian Amrabat, Mohamed Ali Cho and Adama Traore as the main targets. We're talking about here two players who, in my opinion, go straight into the starting lineup. Like, I think Bentancur is an upgrade on Højbjerg, who we've currently got, is an upgrade on Winks, is an upgrade on Skip, as both the box-to-box midfielder and the defensive midfielder. For me, now my kind of worry in that central midfield area is, did we really solve the creativity issue, that kind of third man runner? But maybe this is Conte saying, do you know what, I'm going for the two-man midfield. It's going to be Højbjerg, Skip and Bentancur. They kind of have to sort it out between themselves who's really going to grab those points. And Harry Winks, of course, doing his little remontada as well. So I think them four will kind of be the two-man midfield role there. I think Kulusevski, for me, is kind of a bit more of that solution for the creativity. Someone who's got that bit of technical ability, who can take the man on. That dribbling that we get from Ndombele, we can get that from Kulusevski. He's also a good crosser. I don't think he got to start as many games last season at Juventus. I think it was only 5 starts or something like that. So you probably never got to see the best version of him if anyone's kind of looking at that footage. But when he has played regularly, this boy's got talent, bro. And being 21, similarly coming off the right, he's a left footer, similarly like Son. We've wanted someone who can add goals, add assists, add a bit of creativity, add a bit of flair to Kane and Son's gameplay. And I'm sorry, Lucas Moura, Lamela, Bergwijn, these men have had ample time and opportunity. And I think 6 months loan to see how it goes. And then if he plays enough games, or do you know what I mean? If he's good enough, we pay 40 million. I'll take that risk all day for me. I think it's 2 good signings, in my opinion, honestly. I'm happy with that business. I know some people will say maybe they weren't the first targets. I think Kulusevski, we've been working for over a month. I think people are sleeping on that. Bentancur surprised me a little bit, which was kind of came out of nowhere. But if you're telling me Bentancur, Amrabat, who hasn't really is Fiorentina's 4th choice midfielder, let's be honest. Or am I going to take Bentancur, who, okay, he's had a dip in form maybe because of Allegri's 4-4-2 system, but overall, I know what he'll bring to the table and definitely is better than what we currently have. So I'll take those 2 all day. But we definitely still have more issues to address. I think people are saying right wing back, and I know you tweeted yesterday, Lucas Moura at right wing back. What are people on about, bro? Listen, hear us out.
No, I've gone.
We'll talk about converting. It is because we were talking about converting Bergwijn to a right wing back under Jose. Listen, I'm talking as a club. The club tried to convert Bergwijn into a right wing back and trick us at one point. Yeah, hear this.
Don't say the club. Jose did when he was playing. He was playing in full swing back.
I'm just saying. More at right wing back till the end of the season. I can hear it. He'll give me better energy. He'll do the defensive graft. He's got a better end product than Emerson. You know what? Let's just trial it and see how it goes. But I will say a centre back is more important than a right wing back, in my opinion.
All right, so that's well said, Fuad. Obviously, that's your opinion on both the signings. Before I give mine, Lee, outside looking in, of course, you're fighting with us for a top 4 spot. Do you feel like those 2 signings can help Spurs sort of dip ahead of Arsenal in the race for top 4 and ultimately secure the top 4 spot with Antonio Conte?
I think you might remember this when you got Conte, not when you ripped off your shirt and all gave it Antonio. Weeks after that, yeah, it was a couple of weeks later you actually got it. Yeah, I sat there with you, Matisse, and Corey, and I had you favourites anyway to get top 4, and I don't think that changes. Like I still have you as favourites, especially over us. You know, I know we're going to come to Arsenal in a bit, but with what we've not done and what we are doing in this window. And now you've got a couple of signings in. I don't particularly rate either of the signings that highly, but you needed bodies, and you needed somebody like Kulusevski. I don't think he's that great, if I'm honest. Like his goal output in Serie A is dead, but he is only 21, and now he's going to come in. He's going to have a proper manager. Not that Allegri is not a proper manager, but he's going to
not an offensive one.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not going to put his arm around him and say, "You're the best winger in the world. You're the best this. You can score loads of goals." He's not going to do that. The problem is, I just literally pulled up his transfer market page. He's played in 6 different positions for Juve, which is why he's probably not looked that great. Yeah, because he's 1 week he's on the right wing, then he's on the left, then he's at CM, Yeah, then he's at the right mid, then he's at second striker. And it's like the guy needs to hold down a position, and there is that spot in Tottenham's team for him to do that. Yeah, and I think that you need to take the burden off of Kane. Yeah, Son can do that. He does chip in, but I feel like you do need somebody else. Lucas Moura, I think he's a good footballer. I do. I think he's decent, but I think that you need somebody else, and he could be that guy. And like I said, he is only 21. So if he comes in, Conte grabs hold of him and says, "Look, you can be a superstar here. Yeah, the fans will take you. Just give everything." He could potentially rise up a few levels from what he's been playing at the moment. But yeah, it's a good signing. As for the other lad, I don't really know a great deal about him. Like, compared to Kulusevski. Kulusevski is the one that I've always seen, like with the media hype compared to Betancourt. But if Fuad's saying he's better than Højbjerg, I think Højbjerg's not bad. So he must be half a baller. I haven't really seen much of him play. I can't lie.
Like the thing with Bentancur is since he's come in for me, he's almost one of those that's quietly gone about his work and cemented his place season in, season out at Juve. Like guys like Khedira, Emre Can, they all got faded out and they were supposed to be like keyholes in that team. And he's just, for me, every time I see, like, he's got a better pass, he's a better tackler. Physically, he's got more pace as well than Højbjerg. I just think he's an upgrade. But Kulusevski, I think one key point you hit there is the versatility. It's all well and good being able to play in multiple positions, but you always want to be able to hold one position down and claim that as like your own. And I think what you said there, under Conte, he's kind of the kind of manager who'll put his arm around him and say, do you know what? You can be that third piece to Kane and Son, that extra kind of goal effort. 100% I agree with that.
Because that's the thing, right? If you're a utility guy and you can plug a gap here and you can fill one there, Oxlade-Chamberlain did that, man. Yeah,
you're not going to get a long career.
You've never kicked on to have that. Like I know he's won stuff at Liverpool, but you never kick on and have that career that you probably should have had and could have had if you just played one or two positions. When you're playing 4, 5, 6 positions, you're always gonna. The only exception to that is probably James Milner. He can play anywhere.
Yeah, I think with this as well. So I think that the most important, well, one of the important factors, which of course the club would have factored in when taking this in, is the price. And where we as Spurs fans have seen this club be risk averse, it's ultimately you have to ask the question. One, why have they left it so late? Because Fuad said there, Kulusevski was a target for a whole month. Why have you even got this done a day before the window ends? And but even
I'll tell you what. Sorry to cut you. Yeah, right. Today's the 30th of January.
Yeah,
that's exactly 6 months until he goes into the next year of his contract. This guy.
Yeah.
This is why I think this is why a lot of these clubs do deals on the last day or the day before the last day, because they then don't have to cover their wages for a whole month. And if you think of a player that's on 100 grand a week, that's 400 grand.
Even still, though,
you say you're now doing that for 3 players or 4 players that you're bringing in. All of a sudden, it's millions of pounds they're saving by waiting 30 days.
I hear it,
stupid, but
it's cool. I honestly hear it, but like you have to think of the money that you could miss out on potentially as well when it comes to these things. In this instance, it's actually came out positively for Spurs, and even that, like Fuad said, the window you can only cap it at a sort of mid-level because of the work that we still need to do with our team. But it's worked out positively for Spurs because we've actually ended up signing a player who stylistically fits the profile that we needed in right wing. But when you look at the money that you stand to gain from being in the Champions League, finishing as high up in the table as possible, it's in the club's best interest to get these players in quicker and get the right caliber of players for the manager to work with straight away. But anyway, let me talk about the positives first. I think the price is a fair point to consider, and I think with Bentancur, I think that represents good value for money in this market. Like,
how much is it? Like 19 million or something like that?
It's 19 million euros initial fee, and then 6 million euros an add-on. So that's 25 million euros. To put this into context,
I'm sorry. Nah, that's a bargain for a 24-year-old as well. I'm thinking, like, that's a bargain for me.
Yeah, I think it is a bargain. It is a bargain.
Compared to, let's be honest, compared to what we're trying to get rid of this same window as well in Giovanni Lo Celso and Ndombele in 115 million combined with those two, I think this is a good deal.
It's a good deal financially for Spurs, but that's the problem though with Spurs. We always look at the best deal financially. We don't look at the best deal for our team. And this is where I'm going to sound like a little bit of a sourpuss. I'm not trying to be. I don't have anything against Bentancur. I like Bentancur, and I'm not going to bitch and moan about him now he's at our club. Do you get what I'm saying? But when I look at our midfield, I think you're right. Conte is going for the functional type of midfielders, because when you look at like what this guy does well, he does a bit of everything, doesn't he? He can break up play, quite aggressive. He's good at receiving the ball. He's good at probably retaining possession, but I think the weakest part of our midfield for me was how our midfielders progressed the ball and how frequently they progressed the ball, either with their passing or with their carrying. And when I look at Benton Core, I don't think that signing solves that issue. I think he comes into our team and gives us an immediate upgrade on what we've got, absolutely. And he starts 100%. But as far as ball progression is concerned, I don't think we have fixed that issue as of yet. And I think that's an issue that we have to look into again come summertime. We've spoken about the outgoings briefly, and we'll touch on them as we go along. But the outgoings, we're losing like supposedly offensive-minded players. In Dembele, we're losing a midfielder who could beat multiple players and could actually play probing passes into the final third. And with Lo Celso, to be honest, I don't know what the fuck we're losing there because he's shit. But but he's meant to be an offensive player. So what I don't want is for us to get into this position now where we essentially have midfielders who, even though they can progress the ball at times, it's not like a primary objective.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I don't want. But
I think, especially with Conte as well, because now it seems like with the signing of Bentancur Kulusevski, he's going for the 3-4-3 system, and he's almost because even maybe with the 3-5-2 where Kulusevski plays in the 10, but I don't know. I think Kulusevski being multifunctional is another factor in that, but I do agree. I do think another more offensive-minded midfielder needs to be signed, especially if we're going to lose all that. I think Lo Celso more than likely is going to stay, or I've heard links to Villarreal. I don't know if he's going to go there last minute, or Ali as well. I've heard links to AC Milan, but either way, I do think there does need to be another third option, just in case, because the games against like Liverpool, for example, or even who was we playing the other week? Chelsea, I think it was. The first half where it was decent, it was because we had the three midfielders with Winks, Højbjerg, and Skip in there. And I just feel like if you have a more offensive mind, it just allows you to have that extra factor that we don't have at the minute.
Yeah, fair enough. I think people in the comments it's mixed feedback on Bentancur. Some are saying so this guy says straight off the bat, he did just let the clip rip. Bentancur is fucking shit. He's terrible playing as a 6, gets caught playing out of position. That's why Allegri didn't play him. And I think with that one, it's kind of, yes, from what I've read, he didn't do well in that number 6 role. But again,
brother,
I don't think he's number 6. Sorry.
What manager is still playing 4-4-2 in 2022? Fuck Allegri, bruv.
But it's not even just an Allegri thing. I don't think he's a number 6. And I think Juve have had this weird disease for years where they don't want to sign, like since Khedira's legs went to mush and Matuidi no longer became a suitable part of their midfield. It seems like they've not wanted to just go out and sign a player who can do the defensive work well enough and can distribute the ball in that lone pivot role under pressure. They tried it with Pjanic. It didn't bang because guess what? Pjanic isn't a number 6. And then they tried it with Bentancur. It didn't bang because he's a central midfielder. He's an all-action type of midfielder. I don't think these type of midfielders are there to just literally sit and tackle. I don't think that's his game. And it's not to say that. But this is what I'm saying. I don't think he's like a maverick tactically. I think he can do a job for Conte, a diligent job, but I just don't think that job is at the base of the midfield. And on Kulusevski as well, I think Kulusevski is where, me personally, I'm way more positive on Kulusevski than I am with Bentancur. I think they both represent good business for Spurs, and I think with Spurs fans, we've got our backs up against the wall because we've seen this club just literally go for second-rate options and this, that, and the other. But honestly, take it in isolation. Yeah, if another club signed both of these players, I guarantee a large part of our fan base would be saying, look at the business that they're doing. Why can't Spurs be this proactive, this, that, and the other? Like Kulusevski, I don't care what anyone tells me, that guy is a baller. He's a baller, bro. He's 21.
The thing with him is, it is just literally lack of holding a position down with him. Yeah, he's quick, he's strong, he can dribble. Yeah, he can score goals. Obviously, his output's not great. I think he's got 1 this season. But I just don't think sometimes it's not the right fit for a player when you're at a club. And The reason he probably don't do it and hasn't done it is because he's just been shoehorned in just to go and play over there, mate. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
when he was at Parma, his most consistent spell, he was playing like the number 10 and he was playing on the right, and he was
on the right,
killing guys. At 18, I was like, yo, this kid is going to be levels. He signed at Juve, and initially he started well, but I just felt like it fizzled out because, as you say, he just kept getting told this position here, this position there. I think last season Juve capitulated as well, where everyone's form fell out pretty much.
And the thing is as well, Ronaldo's always going to be the superstar.
100%.
And there's other players there that are big names as well. And it's like, it must be difficult for somebody that's 21 years old to try and break in with a manager that has to win. Like, there is no ifs, buts, or maybes. Juve have to win or you're getting sacked. Yeah, and it must be difficult to say, right, for a manager and for the player, yeah, I'm going to go and play you when you know you're under pressure because you'll get sacked. Yeah, and then the player, when he does get in there, probably doesn't feel like the love because it's, oh, well, just go and play left today, mate. Yeah, go and play centre mid today. So he probably thinks in his head, well, this guy don't rate me. Yeah, it's very similar to Pepe, this situation. Yeah, very similar to Pepe. No managers really rated him. Yeah, and they use him as and when they feel like it. It's not like they're cuddling him and saying, listen, you're going to be a mainstay in the team. We want to build a team around you and a couple of other guys. They're just side chicks, basically.
Any reason for you to shoehorn Pepe into a discussion, you'll do it. I can't believe you just compared Kulusevski to...
Well, listen, Pepe scored more goals last season than this guy in 3, mate. So, yeah.
What was Pepe doing at 18, 19 years old? Yeah. What was he doing at 18, 19 years old?
Prepping himself for the 160 grand a week he's earning.
I will agree, Tobi. I will agree, Tobi, when you said that, like, if other clubs had signed these players, because initially I think it was Aston Villa who was first linked with Bentancur. And I remember immediately thinking, I don't know if we need him, but I would like him. And then we got him now. So I'm just like, all right, cool, let's run with it.
I think the problem is, well, it's not even a problem. Like, it's just, well, it is kind of a problem. With Bentancur, it's as simple as this. He's a midfielder that comes in and definitely improves Tottenham. But he does not, there's the main issue of our midfield has still not been fixed, which is why there's all that uncertainty over Bentancur. But I think he'll prove to be in fact, I hope he is a good player for Spurs. And then I think on Kulusevski, like, Diaz was a disappointment. We get it. Like, Diaz was a disappointment. But again,
did you believe that, Diaz?
What's that?
Did you believe Diaz? Because I didn't, not for a second.
I didn't
buy it. I thought, Liverpool were after him for the last, 18 months, yeah? He's been welcome to Liverpool for the last 6 months, pretty much. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Spurs bid 60 million. They say no. And then next thing you know, Liverpool have signed him. I said, bruv, we've basically just been used as a tool. That's how I saw it by the media.
Yeah, I think with the Diaz one, I didn't think it was going to happen. But I'm saying it's disappointing because Spurs seemingly were ready to pay the money that they needed to for him, but it just begs the question: if you really wanted him, why did you leave it so late? And 2, why don't you act that way with any other player you wanted? All these players that they supposedly wanted, yet it's always last minute bids, fumbling to get their offers over the line, and dilly-dallying, waiting. It just feels scattergun. But anyway, I don't really want to spend too much time on Diaz. Kulusevski now, I think with him, I think when you look at the profile play that Spurs needed, stylistically, he suits that role more than Diaz in a sense where Spurs needed a starting right winger. Spurs needed someone who had technical quality on that right-hand side, and Spurs needed someone who could actually come inside and offer a goal for it. You have the same on the left-hand side with Son. We've not had the same on the right-hand side for years now. Pretty much since Lucas Moura fell off, we've not had that sort of threat. And whilst people look at the numbers this season and last season and say, "Oh yeah, he doesn't score enough. I think this is a kid who was still finding his feet at Juventus. When you actually look at the type of goals this guy can score, it's clear to see that he knows the back of the net. Like, he can really finish. He's got a really good left foot, and I think his ability to combine with other players, and most importantly, his power. I think his power is the one thing that I like the most. Like, he's not some flimsy youth that's going to get barged off the ball. Like, he's actually a tank.
Big, strong guy.
He's
man.
He's
quick as well. He's very quick as well, man.
He's a big unit. Like, this is what I'm saying. For me, he ain't rapid with it, but he's not slow either. And I think he's got enough about himself to navigate his way through the Prem. My only sort of worry with Kulusevski is, again, acclimatizing to a new league, new instruction, new manager, new type of intensity. He may not get up and running straight away. And unfortunately, us as Spurs fans, we know the demand. We know what's at stake here. Top four is at stake. We will need him to get up to speed relatively quickly. Let me just go through some super chats. 1 second. So big up Bashir, Interfan. He says Kulusevski played right wing at Parma and was mad, but he also played left wing, second striker, and also in the 10 role. Bentancur was Allegri's man when they won all those Serie A titles. He is good. Lee, spot on. Crocodiles, thank you for the super chat. He says, at this point, with the targets we've had, do we think Conte wants an attacking creative mid or just deep line engines to drive the ball forward? I'm not going to lie, from the targets that they're going for, it seems like he wants the latter. It seems like he wants the latter, but I don't know. I just look at the way his midfield worked when he was at Inter Milan. Like he's always had midfielders who progress the ball with ease. Like,
but then he's always had like Ben Nainggolan's, Vidal's, Brozovic, like Barella. I'm just thinking.
Barella's a really good passer of the ball, and he can carry the ball. Sensi can.
Brozovic is probably. I remember Brozovic was probably the deepest of the three midfielders in the Inter teams, though.
Yeah. But the problem isn't sitting deep. The problem is his ability to consistently distribute the ball, especially when he's under pressure. We don't really have someone in our team who can like give us that thrust consistently. Harry Winks has done it in recent weeks, but can we honestly say, Harry Winks, you can be relied upon to play those probing passes every single game? I just want it where it comes second nature to our midfielders. But maybe I'm just nitpicking, but that's just the way I see it, man.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it. But anyway, I'm gonna do like a player profile on Kulusevski on my channel soon anyway. But before we actually talk about Fuad, before we actually talk about Paratici, Levy, just the way we do business, I want to talk about Arsenal a little bit, because then we can bucket that conversation with Edu as well. So Lee, let me just saving some chats here. But yeah, with Arsenal, it seems as if you lot have placed a heavy emphasis on like literally just culling all the deadwood in your first team.
I don't know what they're doing.
You laugh, but it's the thing, like how many players have left this month? So Mary's left this month, Kolasinac has left this month, Chambers has left this month, Ainsley Maitland-Niles has left this month, that's 4. And then I think Aubameyang seemingly on his way out. Nketiah could move to Newcastle. So we're talking around like 6-7 players that could leave your club, and the only signing you've made is that American dude, right? The American goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper.
Talk me through it, man. What's going on over there, man?
Clapped Club FC, isn't it? This is the history of the Arteta, which is why I didn't want him. And people just sit there and dress it up that it's a really great that he's getting all the dead wood out, so then we can have a massive transfer window in the summer. Yeah, what a load of rubbish. Yeah, the fact is he ain't got a clue what he's doing. And
some would say, WAHALI, you're finished, bro.
Hey!
Some would say, WAHALI, you're finished, man.
Don't kill me.
You're a joker, man. You're a joker. Absolute joker. Yeah, the fact is, right, we have got 4 strikers. If you want to include Martinelli, it's 5. So one's out on loan, 2 are running their contract down, and 1 can't get in the squad. So that leaves Eddie and Katie and Laka running the contract. So Aubameyang can't get in the team. Balogun's out on loan. So we've actually got 1 striker at this football club in Martinelli. Yeah, but which most people say is a left winger that wants to be here or is under a long contract or is wanted at the football club. Like, it makes no sense to me. I'm baffled, mate. I'm literally baffled. We've got rid of defenders when we're short in defence. Like, what's that all about? You know, we've got rid of Callum Chambers. I don't know how much we sold him for, but we've got rid of Callum Chambers, and that guy can play right back, and he's better than Cedric. So I don't understand what we're going to do at right back now, because we've got Tomiyasu there. If Tomiyasu's injured, Cedric's straight in. It's just mind blowing. But if you look at some of the transfers that this manager's made, he's getting rid of players that he purchased. Yeah, he bought Pablo Mari. Yeah, it was his signing, you know, and now he's been in him. So that tells me the guy didn't have a proper idea of what he was doing in the first place. He only bought him, 18 months ago? Not even that. Yeah, maybe 18 months ago. I think it was in the January. In fact, it might have been the January window last year, you know, the year before. But either way, yeah, it's clear to me that this guy hasn't got a clue, and neither's Edu. Like, mate, what they have done to us in this transfer window so far is an absolute disgrace. Yeah, we couldn't field a team against you lot, apparently, and we have let 5 or 6 players go already. Only 2 weeks after we couldn't field a team. Yeah, it's shocking. We are left with 3 centre-backs. That's it. And if you want to put Tomiyasu in the mix, 4 centre-backs. Yeah, that ain't good enough. If Gabriel gets injured, we're finished. Like, totally. Yeah, because he's been our best defender this season by a country mile. Yeah, the guy next to him, Ben White, ain't good enough. Yeah, and I know we were arguing the other day about Tomiyasu and Ben White. That guy is not good enough, bro. Trust me. Ben White is rubbish. He is absolutely rubbish. He can't smell danger. He can't win a header. Yeah, he can't win a header.
I agree. What are you talking about?
He can't win a header. Yeah, he can't. He can't win a header. Yeah. Oh, but he's good on the ball. I don't care if he's good on the ball. Can you defend? Yeah, and I've seen enough of him to see he can't defend. Yeah, he's crap. That Tomiyasu, our fans have been hyping up this Tomiyasu. Bro, he ain't all that. He really ain't.
On Tomiyasu?
He really ain't all that.
I think Ben White, you hit the nail on the head. Tomiyasu.
No, even Ben White, come on, he's not shit the season. He's not a shit defender.
No, Ben White is not, for me, I'll be honest with you, his brain does not primarily think defend as a centre-back, bro.
Well, he's defended well for Arsenal this season, though.
No, he hasn't.
I don't know. Yes. I think Arsenal as a defensive unit have been better. I think all 4 of them across them have been better this year. And I think Gabriel has covered a lot of him as well, even though Gabriel has had his moments as well. But Ben White, for me, I think he's great on the ball. But as a pure defender, when you're talking about winning your duels, tackling, heading, like the basics, even man-to-man marking, the amount of times where he's sleeping, or even when he's doing recovery tackles and he just gets sold, bro. And I'm just like, bro, this man just does not have them defensive instincts that come to you naturally. That they live and feed off.
Yeah, go and watch back, Toby. Yeah, go and watch back Liverpool's goal up at Anfield, right? In the sorry, not at Anfield. Was it at Anfield? No, it wasn't the Liverpool game. What game was it? The Nottingham Forest game. Go and watch back that goal in the Nottingham Forest game.
Yeah.
He's ball watching and he's watching Gabriel, or whoever it was next to him. Yeah, he's watching. Yeah, and I'm like, if you know that there's a guy outpacing the right back, yeah, and he's going to come and tap the ball in, why are you going closer to the defender over there? Yeah. Why are you not closing off the angle over here and stopping his run? Because you can see your guy's in trouble. You can see he's run past him. Now it's on you to go and smell that danger and stop that backstick tapping. Instead, he got sucked towards the ball over there, and my man just walks straight in and taps it in. I'm like, you ain't good, mate. You really ain't good, because you looked and you see him, and you see he was getting skinned, your mate, yeah? I think it was Cedric. You can see he was getting skinned, and he did not smell that danger. Watch him against Norwich. Yeah, I said this to you the other day, Toby. Against Norwich, we're in stoppage time. We're 1-0 up home, and he literally lifts his foot up and lets the ball run straight into the 6-yard box. Yeah, Timo Pukki nearly scored. I'm like, why would you let the ball run under your foot in the 6-yard box? You are not good, mate. He's not good. Ben White's crap. I said it before he signed.
Let's put the whether they're good or not to a side. Let's put it to a side. So let's talk strictly about your business now. So you made a really good point, which
what business?
That's what I'm saying. I think you made a really good point, which has to be like sort of broadcasted more, which is the fact that your team are quite light right now, and it just doesn't make sense as well. When you look at some of the players that are out on loan, you have a centre back who's ripping it up in League One, who could come and provide the competition for Gabriel and White. He's not available this season, so that means now if they get injured, if one of those two guys get injured, Holding comes back into your team, and we saw what Holding was like. Cedric is the only right back option for you outside of Tomiyasu, and then left back as well. Of course, you got Tavares. When you look at the midfield as well, the midfield is light. It's light, bro. Partey, Xhaka, El Nene, and Lokonga. And then number 10 is what? The only option you have is Odegaard or Emil Smith-Rowe. Your team is actually very light. All it takes is 2-3 injuries, and you're completely dusted. And even
that,
when everyone's fit,
red cards. Partey and Xhaka have had red cards, and we're lucky we've got a break. You're right, man. El Neni has never been good enough. I don't know why he's still here. He's got 6 months left or 5 months left on his contract now. Granit Xhaka's just toilet, yeah, and would always cost you points. That guy will cost you 12 to 15 points a season. Yeah. Then you've got Thomas Partey, and let's face it, he's been crap since he signed for Arsenal. Absolutely rubbish. But every time I see people doing combined 11s, he's in the combined. I'm like, how? So we've needed midfielder. We needed midfielders in the summer, and we signed Sambi Lokonga. Like, why? Like, if you want to build one for the future, cool, that's great. But go and get one for now. You know, we went and signed Gibraltar guard, another average footballer. Bro, he's crap as well. Yeah, just because he's got 97%.
Wait, who?
Game. He's talking about Odegaard. He's causing Gibraltar guard. It's fine. When I told you,
he broke a Guinness World Record against Gibraltar, bro. He broke a Guinness World Record. He's done nothing since. Yeah, and that was for 12 key passes in a game or something for international. Bro, no disrespect. Yeah, you could set up a football team with your pals and go and beat Gibraltar. They're rubbish. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Nice place to go for a day out and that, but yeah, it's not the one. But we've signed players that I felt just weren't the one in the summer. We should have gone and got Maddison, and we should have gone and got Basuma. If we had got them two, yeah, you don't have to necessarily play Thomas Partey every week or Granit Xhaka every week. You know, now you have to, because we've got a kid coming in or El Neni coming in. Yeah, and it's like, come on, man. We have to go and get midfielders. We've wasted 30 days of this transfer window so far without announcing a player. And all we're doing is offloading players. You know, I find it baffling, especially the Chambers one. I don't rate any of these players, by the way, that we're getting rid of. But the point is if you haven't got a backup that's better than them already at the club, or you haven't brought somebody in that's better than them in the transfer window, what are you doing?
Lee,
because
I'm going to
made yourself so light. We ain't getting top four. If anyone thinks we'll finish above 7th, you're mad.
I'm gonna stop you there, Lee. So Gunnar Mo has put in this question, and Nippon and Bashir, I will get to your super chats in a second. Sorry, I've saved them, so I'm gonna get to them. I just wanted to let the natural conversation flow a bit more. So Gunnar Mo has asked about the striker situation now. Yeah, he says, Lee, I would like to ask you a question. Would you rather sign a striker for big money now, but the bust potential is high, or would you rather sign a striker in the summer and he exceeds? I don't really get what the risk, the risk is between now and summer. It's going to be the same thing, right? Is it not?
You pay more now, probably.
Yeah.
Yes, they need a striker now.
Overpay.
This is it. They need a striker now, though. But like signing someone like Isaac now versus summer is not going to mean that he's got more of a likelihood of banging now than
is
he does.
Really the solution though? Is a 4 goal in the league, 7 goals in all competition striker, 70 million? Is that the solution to solve your goal scoring problem?
It may not be the solution, but it's a solution. And when you look at their team, they're looking for a striker who has the technical quality to play the way they want to play and has the potential to score goals in the future. Yes, you could go out and sign maybe like a Osimhen, who's probably a bit more of a bagsman than Isaac. But the point is, right now, Arsenal are not going to get away with spending big. There's no striker right now who can genuinely come in and carry that burden that Aubameyang used to carry. That's going to cost them 30, 40 million. They're going to have to pay big money. There's no getting around it.
But this is why I don't understand why we've outed Aubameyang. Can't it be repaired? Like, just sit him down and say, I want you in my team. Yeah, come on, I'll get you your move in the summer. You stay for the next 5 months, you push us on to top 4 and you leave. Yeah, I don't know what he's done that's so bad that he's been kicked out of the football club. Bro, the Mesut Ozil thing is slightly different. It seems like this manager has an issue with people that have been here a while, yeah, or just talk back to him.
He's got that reflection about him, I swear to you.
Mate, I don't know why he's got the arrogance of Pep. What's he ever done? He was a shit footballer. Yeah, he was a panic buy on deadline day. Yeah, so Bashir put in the chat earlier, he said, I watched the Chelsea 6-0 for Wenger's 1000th game. He said the worst player on the pitch was Arteta.
Hey,
you lot got cooked.
Hey, Morata's there though. Morata's there.
Poor man.
No,
what the hell?
Don't even joke, man.
You're trying to talk right on Isaac, but you're saying Morata? Come on, man.
Bro,
Isaac
I'm just saying,
Isaac would be a better fit for Arsenal than Morata. But I don't think I want either. I can't lie. I would definitely not have Morata. This Isaac, bro, I've said this as many times. I'd take Ivan Toney over half the strikers that we're linked to.
Come on, Lee.
Yeah, if Ivan Toney played for Chelsea this season and bagged 15 goals, everyone would be hyping him. He plays for Brentford and he scored more than one of our strikers.
He's not a good enough goal scorer to play for Arsenal.
Bro, he's playing for Brentford and he's playing a different style as well, by the way, because last season,
right, let me
ask you. This season, they're not on the front foot and he's playing with his feet back to goal. Last season, he was on the shoulder. That guy in the penalty box has got elite level movement in a penalty box. If you can get him on a shoulder and get him in a penalty box with decent wingers, that guy slap goals for fun, mate. Yeah, trust me, that guy is so sick. His hold-up play is mad. Yeah, his vision is mad underrated. I'm just going to keep putting this prop out for Ivan Toney, brother, and people will see it one day. Isaac is clear of Toney, did it say? Is that what he said?
Yeah, it did. I'm just putting in the comments that are coming in.
And then the next one says Toney is better.
Why don't you lot go break the bank for Dybala?
Come on, Fuad. He's 28 years old, man.
Yeah, no.
He's left on his contract, 28, can score you goal, plays in a similar type of pattern that I think a lot of the Arsenal players have. So system-wise would fit well, I think. Bro, I don't know. I would go and take a little 40 million, 45 million punt on Dybala. 3-4 years, because guess what? You signed Oba around that same age, if I'm not mistaken. And look how that turned out.
Yeah, that's true.
So
the thing is, though, Dybala isn't prolific enough compared to Aubameyang, and we need somebody Aubameyang-esque or somebody that's like an Ivan Toney that will bring decent hold-up play, will score some goals, but also get the wingers involved. Yeah, Dybala's way too small.
It's my man at Benfica. Not Darwin Núñez. Why not take a punt at that? You see, like I don't know. Like you have to do something like that. Darwin Núñez or Jonathan David. It will be them type of players if you're gonna break the bank now. Because for me, Isaac, I wouldn't have 70 mil. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's absurd. That's the same as like the 70 million for Maddison in the summer. I'm sorry, that is not it.
But you say this now, yeah. But
Lautaro, perfect shout.
Lautaro's not costing you 70 million.
Yeah, he signed a new one in the summer, didn't he?
What's that?
He signed the new deal in the summer as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He ain't going nowhere.
He did. These fucking weirdos, man. I've got mods in here, Jack.
You've got a fake troop saying he wants to have a crush on you.
Would you take Jovic? Would you take Jovic from Real Madrid? 6 months, see how that goes.
Jovic is a shout because, but this is what I always say to Tobi and like other people. Like when you're taking players out of the Bundesliga and putting them in other leagues, they always tend to flop, mate. Striker wise, there's not. Aubameyang's the exception to the rule. You know, we're going to see this Weghorst. He's just signed for Burnley.
Burnley, yeah.
Let's see if he can.
It's actually gone through.
Fabrizio's put it out there. It's a done deal, 15 million euros. Yeah, let's see if that guy can come in and slap it in the Premier League because he tends to do all right in Germany. There's so many players that go from that league to Spanish league or Premier League and they just don't rock up, man. Yeah, it's because that league's crap. So I always look at players like that Jovic and say, okay, you slapped it in Germany, you're doing all right. What can you do at Madrid? I know he's not really had the opportunities compared to.
You know what the thing is? I
think he's a good player though. I do.
The thing with Luka Jovic, or Jovic, however you want to pronounce it, is he looked at his best when he was playing in a two-man attack. And I think when he's coming to Arsenal, he's going to be playing by himself. So he's going to have to do all of the link up and the hold up, and he's going to have to offer himself as like a really good goal threat. From what I saw of him at Frankfurt, he looked like a good finisher, but I think his confidence has just been shot to pieces the last couple of years. I think it's a big burden for Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy task, but at this point, you can't be selling off all your attackers and not bring anyone in. You have to go out and spend the money like you do. The Aubameyang one is interesting to me because, like, I think selling him, like, for me, has to be the clearest indication that you have to bring someone in. Like, this is a guy who's like 6-7 goals away from 100 Premier League goals for Arsenal.
Yep.
Basically carried your attack. Maybe not so much last year and a half, but before that, carried your attack. Like, I don't think they would be that stupid to sanction off a sale without bringing someone in. Or maybe they are. I guess that's why
we're going to do something. Yeah, it's just what we do. And the thing is, it's too late now anyway. No, I genuinely think it's too late. You know, we should have been getting this done. What has Edu done from the end of the last transfer window in the summer to now? What has he done? Because I guarantee when that window's shut, they weren't sitting there talking about getting rid of Callum Chambers. They weren't talking about getting rid of Kolasinac. They weren't talking about getting rid of Balogun on loan. They weren't talking about other players that we've Pablo Marie. You know, they weren't talking about these players. So what has Edu actually done to go to a football club and say, well, we had your client down or your player down as a target in the summer, or go to his agent. We couldn't get it done in the summer. We'll come back in for you in January. You've already teed everything up. The player wants to come. You agree a fee with the club. Boom. First day of January, Arsenal sign so-and-so. Maybe I'm just looking at it too simplistic, but it really winds me up. This whole transfer window crap, and it is crap. They might as well just open the window on the 30th. Yeah, because everyone just wastes 30 days. Yeah, just open on the 30th and say you got 24 hours or 48 hours, because everyone just, and all you get is media spec. It's crap, man. It is so jarring. Yeah, and it winds me up, if I'm honest. We don't know what we're doing. But
me too, and I think that we need to. Yeah, me too. And I think we need to talk about that in detail now. But before I do, I just wanted to reel off some of these super chats as well.
Go toilet while you're doing that, yeah?
Yeah, go for it. So Fuad, I may as well start with Nippin's question. So big up Nippin for the super chat. He said, question, once Bentancur is signed, who gets benched, Pierre or Skip? I think it's obvious for me.
Yeah, I think on form right now, you'd have to go Pierre gets dropped. Do you know what I mean? On ability-wise, you'd obviously prefer Højbjerg was starting, because at the start of the season I was saying I don't want to see Skip thrown into the deep end and the midfield is relying on him, but he's taken to it like a duck to water. So at the minute, Skip is the one that is obviously preferred next to Benson.
Yeah, I agree. I think Højbjerg gets dropped if he comes in, but I guess this is the competition, isn't it? Whereas in Dom, we had midfielders like Ndom, Dele, and Lo Celso who were not actually competing. Like they weren't really playing. Certainly in the last 2-3 months, they were either not available or were not playing like they wanted to compete for spots. I think as poor as Højbjerg has been this season, and he's been shocking, I think he's going to react positively to being dropped, and I think he's going to do everything he can to start. Yeah. I think the same can be said for Winks now under Conte. I think the same can be said for Skip, obviously. And I think Bentancur, he's coming here and he knows he's gonna, he may walk into this team on current quality, but I think what we can't afford to do is just have another midfielder who rests on their laurels and gets too comfortable. So I'm just happy that we're gonna actually have some added competition in that.
I'm hoping he can add the same kind of spark that Højbjerg added last year.
Initially, yeah.
Like
definitely.
That initial where you're just thinking, shit, this is what we've been missing type of thing. So I'm hoping he can give it a nice spark plug jump.
Yeah, and then big up Bartek as well. He says, Tobes and Fuad, do you regret not selling? Come on. Do you regret not selling Harry Payne? He's obviously talking about fucking Harry Kane.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We were never offered a substantial offer. So it's not a regret. We were never offered a decent value. Not for what I thought he was worth. So no, I'm happy that he stayed, as I've always stated. He was our top goal scorer and top assister in the Premier League last year. I don't want to lose that in my team, especially when I know we're struggling for goals and creativity outside of him as it is.
Fair enough. And Lee, just one for you as well from Bashir. Big up Bashir again for the super chat. He says, Tomiyasu's primary role is centre back. He started well, then he was so much criticised because of so many errors that Mihailovic changed him to right back. I thought he just sort of did like a double act between the two. He mixed it up over and over again for Bologna, because Bologna that he played for. So yeah, I don't want to talk on Tomiyasu anymore. Let's talk on the actual ownership and the director of football structure as well. So before we actually start on this, there's 931 of you in here. Just make sure you smash the likes.
Come on, people.
Yeah, please smash the likes. Thank you for tuning in as well. So Halimi 701 has just put this comment: breaking. Aubameyang is on the verge of a loan move to Barcelona with no guarantee that Arsenal will sign a replacement. Barca are expected to pay the bulk of his full wage of 350k per week. Barcelona's transfer business this season has been screams of a club who are just aiming to have no cash.
Bamboozling, bro.
But
from
that being said,
to Adama and Oba.
That being said, though, you're not telling me that Aubameyang ain't gonna go there and clap more goals than fucking Braithwaite and who's the other guy they signed, Luke De Jong. Your fellow
Young's been doing this thing, you know.
Mate, Braithwaite only said yes to Barcelona because he wanted to train with Messi every day. Let's be real, yeah. That guy was nicking and living. Yeah, he's rubbish. But Aubameyang's going to go there, he's going to rip it, mate. Yeah, that guy's number one got a point to prove. Number two, he ain't finished yet. Yeah, he is not finished. I am convinced if we had him and put him up front and put them wingers and played attractive football like Brighton do, yeah, and in a system like Brighton play, yeah, Aubameyang would still be one of the top scorers in this league, if not the top goal scorer in the league. Yeah, he's not a washed-up footballer yet.
I think there's definitely
parts of Harry Kane. So don't
this is Kane's worst season.
We cannot deny.
I've tried to give Aubameyang credit, but he's clearly not the same player. Like, come on, we can't skirt around that. He's clearly not the same player.
But you've got to ask yourself why, and that's because he's playing left wing back every week.
Yeah, but he was playing striker.
He's got no technical ability. He can't hold the ball.
This guy missed hella chances this season, bro. Hella chances, even penalties as well.
Yeah, but everyone can miss a penalty. Let's be real.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is that he was actually missing more chances than you expect for a player of his caliber. And
I see some of the comments saying that he's missing open goals. Did we miss Lacazette missing one from 3 yards out the other day?
Lacazette,
and Aubameyang still outscored Lacazette this season.
Yeah, because Lacazette is horrible. He's worse than Aubameyang. I don't know why you can't.
So why are we getting rid of Aubameyang? Get rid of Lacazette and work it out with
the manager. That's the problem. He's fell out with the manager. But anyway, let's talk about the hierarchy. So we'll start with, since we're in Arsenal, we'll start with Arsenal anyway. I've read so many comments around how Arteta and Edu, they take full responsibility for the recruitment, who you bring in, the type of players you bring, etc., etc. So please tell me what has gone wrong here. Like you rightly pointed out, a lot of the players that Arteta has shipped out are players that he actually brought into the club, and players that he just didn't give that opportunity whatsoever. Edu, director of football, but yet this doesn't really seem like poor squad planning. Here's why I'll give them a little bit of credit, because a lot of the business they did in the summer, we looked at it in isolation and we said, this doesn't look like good business. And I know, Lee, you'll disagree, but I would like to think that pretty much all bar one have actually made some form of a positive impact at your club this season. We don't have to get to that debate now, but what's going on in January? Why have we not seen any incoming players for Arsenal in January?
Do you know what? I've got a simple logic to this. They've mismanaged their finances in the summer. They didn't necessarily overspend, but maybe they did. But in terms of what that would have left us, where they thought we might have been this season, and the fact of the Aubameyang situation, they probably didn't. They obviously knew we'd have to go and get a striker at some point. But they probably thought, oh, well, Aubameyang will still be doing the business. If Laka's there, it don't matter, right? Because Abba's still doing his thing. So they probably didn't expect Aubameyang to fall out with the manager or vice versa. So that, has probably shafted a bit of their transfer plans this window. But I think that we maybe overspent on wages and stuff like that in the summer. Yeah, and I think that they're trying to now get people out to free up wages before we go and get in, because we sold Callum Chambers for $3 million. If you, I don't know how much he was on. Let's say he's on 60 grand a week. If you add up that 5 times, that's 300 grand a week we've just saved. That pays for a striker. Yeah, it pays for a midfielder. Yeah, if you want to go 150, that's 2 players you can bring in. You've just got the 5 players you don't want and that are not good enough, and you go and bring in 2 that are better. Then I suppose it's good business for the club. As a fan, yeah, not for me, mate. Like some of the stuff this club does is baffling. Edu shouldn't be in the job. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned. What does the guy actually do? Because all I see him do is activate a release clause for Thomas Partey by players that nobody else wants. Like literally, we signed the only other. I'm going to say Tomiyasu again. The only other club that wanted him was you. Yeah, when we signed Gabriel, the only other club that wanted him was you. Nobody else wanted him. And Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White. Did anyone want him? No. Why are we offering 50 M's for him? 50 mil. Yeah, and again, nobody was going to compete with that. So I just look at it and I think we've totally mismanaged the last window. Yeah, we've got some players in them. You can argue either way have been decent or not, but I feel like they've panicked a little bit now because of the Aubameyang situation, and then they thought, wow, we badly need a striker now. We're close to top 4. You know, we're not going to use Aubameyang. Laka's on his way out. We can't rely on Eddie. We can't rely on Laka to score goals. We need to go and get a striker. We will get a striker by tomorrow night. I'll be shocked if we don't. Yeah, it's who we get. Right, and there's links to this Isak, and he's in London and all that.
The fans make me sick for that as well. I want to, and let me not generalize. Let me not generalize because that's harsh. Some of your fan base are mad individuals. They saw a number plate with 1 S, 2 A's and a K, and they saw it driving around and they put 2 and 2 together because they saw Isak in London with Januzaj, and they said, "Yep, he's signed the team. This, that, and the other." And then it was then discovered that that car belonged to another guy who's actually been living in London for yonks.
No way! So it weren't even him.
Yeah. Did you not see the photo I sent in? It wasn't even the footballer's car. It wasn't even his car.
Way.
Some other random guy's car. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Mate, that's what our fans do, bro. That's what they do. They're starving. They're literally starving. And I don't know why, but these people nowadays, they want to be the first to break news. Like, oh, I got it first. Oh, I tracked Gabriel's flight. Like, get out your mum's basement, man. Seriously, what's the matter with these people? Like when we signed, what player was it we signed? And they were saying, oh, well, he must be in England because if you look in the back garden of that house that the picture's in, it's wet on the floor. So it's not raining in France. So these people are weird.
So Lee, this comment from Gunnar Mo as well. Big up Gunnar Mo for the comments as well. So he says, remember guys, when Arteta came in, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Guendouzi, Torreira, Socrates, Ozil, and much more. 2 directors of football have left. The turnover has been incredible. This takes time, guys. What do you think in response to that?
No, I disagree. Yeah, if you look at the 2 Europa League finalists from a couple of seasons ago, Inter and Sevilla, they made 27 new signings between them that season. So you can do it. Sevilla, and you can say all you want about Inter Milan, and they spent 100 million or whatever it was they spent. Sevilla ain't got that kind of money, and they brought in 13 new players in one window and got to the Europa League final and won it. Yeah, so I disagree that it takes time. Yeah, I think with some of the players he listed, well, Guendouzi walked straight into this starting 11 all day long. Yeah, because he's levels better than Granit Xhaka. Yeah, he literally walks in that team. Ozil, yeah, cool. He had to go. Socrates isn't as bad as people made him out to be, but again, he had to go. Yeah, and then who were the other players he listed? There was a few others, weren't there? The 2 technical directors.
One like siphoning funds.
Allegedly, you got to say allegedly, mate. You might get done.
Allegedly, sorry.
Allegedly, but that shows how much of a mess this football club is. We've had 2 directors of football leave in 2 years.
Yeah, Fuad,
That tells me there's an issue upstairs somewhere.
I think there's definitely an issue there. I think before I come to you, I think the key point to note there, and this is to Gunnar Mo as well, is that whilst it's not easy to run a football club and it's not easy to deal with sort of player attrition, when you find yourself in a position where 1 or 2 signings could be the difference, and padding your team as much as possible when you literally have nothing else to play for but top 4 qualification is concerned, you have to prioritize that above everything. Arsenal were knocked out of 2 cup competitions in the space of like a week. Yeah, they already didn't have any European commitments this season. So really and truly, on top of the 150 million you spent on the top 4, your key objective now, with literally, how many points are you off top 4? Like 2 or 3 points off top 4 right now. Your key objective is to try and finish in the top 4. And when the club can see that that's an objective, a realistic objective, and they don't want to do the necessary things to bolster the team to a point where they can actually compete for top 4 properly, that's where it's an issue. And that's where I guess the same goes for Spurs as well. So that's why I wanted to come to you, Fuad. So Lee's obviously mentioned about Edu's inadequacies. Paratici, on the other hand, can you sort of articulate why we're frustrated with Paratici? Because when you look at the business that we've seemingly completed now, people say, "Oh, what Spurs fans complaining about? Oh, they brought in Kulusevski, they brought in Bentancur, 2 Champions League established players, blah blah blah." But it's not just that, though, is it? It's not just that.
Nope. And what it is for me, I just think it's a scattergun approach, in my opinion. I think too often it seems like we don't have definitive targets or singular direction with a player. Like, this is the one we want. Okay, cool. Instead, it's like, no, we're linked with 3 or 4, and you don't know which one's which. So you're kind of having to do research on who. It seems like he's all doing it via his connections book rather than, which all seems to be funneling through Syria. So it's kind of like, is this a guy who's actually skilled at his job and is looking at it objectively and thinking, what's the best talent for this role? Or is he just using his kind of little checkbook that he's got here of mates and, yo, can you give me a discount and so type of thing? So it's, for me, it's the authenticity of his search. I think there's a degree of that. But then I think you look at the players we've got as well. You look at Galini. You could say that's come from his little black book. Hasn't worked out at all. Emerson, sorry. You're complaining about Tomiyasu, Lee, but I'm sorry, bruv. We're dying out here with Emerson. I wish we had Tomiyasu.
Yeah, he's been...
Romero, he's been injured, let's be honest. So we haven't really seen the best of him, but we hope that kind of turns out well. But I don't know. It's just his approach hasn't convinced me. That's my thing as a Spurs fan. I think I've looked at him and I'm thinking, yo, in January, having looked at all the results that are happening, you should have been working. You should have been working from the minute Conte walked in November or whatever it was. You should have been saying, all right, what do you need? It shouldn't take Conte being 4 days into the window to come out in a press conference and say, I still haven't spoken about my transfer targets. I still haven't spoken to the board. That should not be happening, bro. So for us, that's where the frustration is, when the gap is so clear, when the overhaul is so obvious that's needed. The staleness of the squad is so obvious. And we've just seen a lack of movement. And now in the last, 24 hours, because we've seen 2 players come in, we're supposed to go, hooray! Nah, bro, because it's very reminiscent of 2019 when we had a net spend of minus God knows how much for over 5 years. And then all of a sudden they threw a record signing and Dembele, threw a Lo Celso loan and a Bergwijn 27 million signing and said, hey, there you go. We finally spent. You should be happy. And let's look in hindsight, look at those signings. So for me, it's like, I don't know. We haven't historically recruited well. So there is a bit of hesitance there. But with a lot of these deals, to be honest, they're all loans and to buys. So it does give you that bit of protection as well. I don't know. It's kind of double-ended, but maybe now in hindsight, you're thinking, what could have Campos done different if he came in?
I completely agree. And this point,
if I had to give him out of 10, just to wrap it up quickly as well, if I had to give him like an out of 10 so far, I'd give him like a 5.5. Like, you're not fully meeting the criteria as I fully expected you. But Kulusevski and Bentancur are definitely along more of the lines of what I expect you to bring in. Romero, that's what I expect you. Even like, let's be honest, Brian Gill, that's egg on our face. 25 million only to 6 months later loan him out back to La Liga to say, hey, go get your first team football. And I get it. It might just be more of a financial clearance thing, but I don't think he's had more hits than misses so far. So I've got to give him like a 5.5.
Yeah. I think with him, my biggest concern is the fact that he's come into our structure and we haven't really changed the way we do business. That's the thing that strikes out the most for me. People say, oh no, his mandate is to bring the squad age down, rejuvenate this team. It's a rebuild, of course, but that's the mandate of any director of football now. It's obvious. You look at our team and you look at if you saw our team that finished towards the end of last season, it was clear to see that we had quite a lot of people that were on the wrong side of 30 and needed to be, the squad needed refreshing. But what concerns me with Paratisi is the fact that he's come into our team and our approach to doing business has not changed in terms of when we identify a target, when we move for the target, and the type of targets that we're going for. The only thing that's changed is his little black book of connections, which gives us a new link into the Serie A. That's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah.
And for me, the biggest thing he's done for me so far is be pivotal in bringing in Antonio Conte, because as far as I'm concerned, that is the best signing possible. And and you would think that alone should outweigh anything else. It doesn't, but anything else he's done so far, but it doesn't, because the business that he's done outside of Conte has not been good enough. Look at Brian Hill, case in point. Brian Hill, we've spoken of positive things about Brian Hill. Like, he looks like a talented player, but let's be real, he's not made any sort of impact on our team so far this season. And we sold him. We bought him for 25 million euros plus Lamela. In fact, bun Lamela, because he was poor. He needed to go anyway. But let's just say the 25 million euros. Yeah. We're now loaning him back to La Liga, to Valencia, the same league that he came from, when we need him to try and get acclimatized to this league.
Bruh.
And then we're bringing in a right winger in Kulusevski, who is a baller that we probably should have tried to move for in the summer. You see why it doesn't make sense here. The midfield one as well, yeah. The midfield one, Lo Celso and Dembele, like, they're going to Lyon. Like, Newcastle have just signed Bruno Guimaraes for 40 million quid. Yeah, you knew that Lyon were interested in Lo Celso. You knew that Lyon were interested in Dom. Clever clogs. You could have tried to do a little team there, and even beyond just the individual players that I can give descriptions for. Like Fuad said, everything is knee-jerk, everything is scattergun. Nothing they do is calculated, nothing they do is proactive. They're always responding. Look at Liverpool now, yeah. Look at Liverpool as an example, yeah. All of a sudden, we're not talking about them, oh, their attack is, oh, age, this, that, and the other, because they've got 25-year-old Diogo Jota. They've got 25-year-old Diaz, who's joined their team, and they're now signing Fabio Carvalho to bolster their attack, who's going to play centrally as well.
Elliot, Cade Gordon coming through,
bro. So, and this is whilst Mane is still delivering. This is while Mo Salah is still delivering. That's what you call foresight. That's what you call planning. Spurs, there is no foresight. There is no planning. It's just knee-jerk. And when they leave it so late, they basically put us as fans in a position where it's like, oh, because we've not had anyone come in, now we've got you coming in. We have to get on board, basically. And I just think that's just a poor attitude to have. And that isn't just going to sit solely on Paratisi. That also sits on Daniel Levy. Because like I said, the business that we were doing before Paratici, the type of business we were doing before Paratici is the type of business we're doing with Paratici. And that doesn't just come through him. That comes through years and years and years and years of operating late into the window, trying to fish for what's the best deal when we're just leaving ourselves handicapped. And we talk about identifying positions that need to be targeted. The right wing back spot is a mess. We've known since the 1st of January, you need a right wing back. Like, a right wing back is what can actually take this team up a gear, because we are
Moore is the guy, bro.
Bro, we spent 30 million on one in the fucking summer.
You say Moore is the guy, but no, he's not. And second of
all, tell me why.
Because he's a bomb. He's a bonehead. That's why he's a fucking bonehead. He's aimless. He runs around the pitch. He wants to run.
You have hated Moura.
Lucas,
you have hated Moura for too long.
Bro, it's not even hating Moura. Let me take that back. Maybe he's not a bum right now, but he is a bonehead. You want this guy to be positionally sound in a position where he's never played in before.
What am I getting now? I'm getting that. Nah, because I'm getting that same nonsense from Emerson where he's out of position. So guess what? Give me one that's a bit pacier. Give me one that actually wants to graft. Give me one that will actually give me a decent end product every once in a while.
Why are we even speaking about Moura playing wing back? Realistically, they should have taken.
That's how much of a mess it is,
bro. They should have. Like, how bad is this? We've got 2 right wing backs or right backs or whatever that aren't good enough. Your priorities should have been to ship one of them out the door and bring another one in. Why has that not happened? Apparently, Leicester and Bentancur are a priority, but the actual priority, a right wing back, we're going to be left without one. Why has that not happened? And then because they've made signings that are likable, or just meant to forget that the right back is still gaping. Centre backs, we've not really seen anything. Okay, cool. Rome wasn't built in a day. They can't do everything in one window, but right back was an immediate priority. I can tell you this for free. I would have taken a right back over Bentancur, 100%, hands down. If you sign me a good right wing back, I would have taken that over Bentancur every day of the week.
You're not getting a good right wing back for 19 mil plus 6 bonus.
And pay what it takes to get a good right wing back. Pay what it takes.
Who is, aside from the obvious Lamptey?
No, that's the obvious. But that's the. Okay. But why? Can I ask why can't we? Why is it always aside from the obvious with Spurs?
Because for me, I don't think
Diaz, and they went out and got Diaz. Why wasn't it aside from the obvious for Liverpool?
Because Lamptey already plays in the Premier League. He's already comfortable at Brighton, and if Brighton are not saying they're selling, they don't have to sell, bro. There is no release clause like there is with Diaz. That's the difference. And as that's what I'm saying to you is right now, I'm telling you, in this January window, if you're saying Lamptey's not available, who is that right wing back? That's what I'm asking.
That's their job. That's not our job. That's their job.
But as a fan, who would you ask? Who would you say, that would be the kind of player I would like at right wing if it's not Lamptey?
I need to think. There's probably 1 or 2 out there, but definitely not Lucas Moura.
Bro, I'm telling you, I feel like I was saying this today on Stoppage Time. Like, defenders nowadays, it's few and far to find that top defender, if you like, that's ready made. You always got to take a gamble on one that's a gem or something like that. I think someone like Riddle Baku at Wolfsburg, I'll take a punt on that. Would you not?
Shit league, man.
Get me.
None of them teams out there can defend apart from
Mazraoui at Ajax. I'll take a punt.
Nordi Mukiele.
What, at Leipzig?
At Leipzig, yeah.
What if he says I'm not leaving? I've got Champions League football.
Try. My point is try. Why are we not trying? The only right wing back we tried for this window is a poor right winger.
Marley,
a poor right winger who's gone to do press ups in Catalonia.
At least it's better weather than North London, mate.
It's true. This comment as well from Jimmy, it doesn't even make sense. He says, Conte turned Hakimi into one of the best fullbacks in the world, a player who wasn't getting on Real Madrid's bench. I am sure Inter hated the signing of what? I don't even know what that means. Hakimi was on loan for 2 years at Dortmund and was like the best right wing back in the Bundesliga. I don't really get that point. Inter fans were delighted when they signed Hakimi, if anything. But anyway, the point is this. I just don't like the way Spurs do business. Nothing has changed. And that is my main worry. Nothing has changed. And even we talk about outgoings as well, yeah? Dembele, what a massive loss that is, like, cash-wise. Because now he's going to Lyon. The team that we bought him for Yeah, they're paying us a €3 million loan fee, and we're still going to have to cover his wages. We're going to be losing money loaning him out to Leon. We're still going to be losing money.
L.
It's an L.
I would have kept him, but
you may as well keep him. What's the point?
I would have kept him. If we're saying we ain't gonna solve that we ain't gonna solve that creative issue. We're not gonna sign someone. Listen, you've got more to lose. That's how I see it. I think because man walked off slowly when he was coming up for a game. Listen, man. I understand he ain't delivered for a minute. I understand.
What? We love Ndom, yeah. Listen,
business-wise, Ndom, man. Listen, if we had a system and a manager that wanted to play him and put the team around him, he would have thrived like a record signing should. Yeah, but every man want to make him run laps, run through rings, run through hoops. Yeah, black man always got to struggle, always got to work that little extra bit harder. Listen, fuck out of here, yeah. Free money getting Ndom. I can't wait till he's balling out in Ligue 1.
I would love for him to ball out in League One, but listen, he's under Antonio Conte, and seeing what happened, the deed is done. There's no coming back. He's not playing for Antonio Conte. Let's just let this one go. Yeah. Business-wise is what's rattling me, because business-wise, it's just madness. It's absolute madness. It's an L.
It is. 65 million, bruv. Come on, man. 3 years later, we ain't seen no return. What? No more than 10 games strung together. Fucking hell.
Lee, I think your boys.
I remember when you lot signed in Dembele, man. You lot were hyped.
Mate, I was gassed.
Do you know what it was? Yeah, it was the first time where I'd been like, yo, we've got a player with that bit of magic feet. I said, we've had technical players in like Musa, Dembele, Ericsson, but he's a different type player. He's almost one of those you don't know what you're going to get when he's on the ball. And I always just thought, yo, he can maybe be kind of like the face of the new evolution, because we hadn't spent money before that as well. And I thought, finally, we break our record signing. Young, creative player, we can maybe build a team around him. Debut goal, you see, first couple of games, decent. Bruv, once Poch got sacked, the injury came. Jose said, come in and work hard. Everything just started to go downhill. Then lockdown happened. Ugh, fucking hell. It all went tits up anyway, bruv. But yeah.
I think this is a point to note as well. That he just, I think in the league, like he just, yeah. I'm not gonna rehash it. I think
we beat the Ndombele horse like fucking months, man.
But then. And Lee, I think we'll use this to jump back into Arsenal. But then when I look at Spurs as well, when I look at the other players that we still need to get rid of, we all mentioned that Tanganga could probably do with a loan. He's still here. Joe Rodon, he doesn't even get a minute. He doesn't even play for the club. He's still here. £11 million. And this isn't even me saying he's a bad player, because I don't think Joe Rodon is a bad player. But what's the point in him? What's the point in having him here? What is the point? Sell him, get the money back, and try and revamp the team elsewhere. Dele Alli is still at this club. We've only got a day and 2 hours.
That guy stinks, bro. His attitude stinks. Yeah, that guy. I can't listen. He's gone. It's gone to his head, mate. That's the problem with him. All of that money has gone to that boy's head. Yeah, and all of the hype about him and playing for England and stuff like that. That guy couldn't care less about football now. He's got a few quid. Yeah, he's got his little business, his clothing brand and all of that, whatever it is. He ain't interested, mate. It's done. It's
I used to defend him when my friends would say this. He's always distracted by anything else and stuff. But
yeah,
it's just his fall off is crazy, and I think the priority is to get these guys out the door.
He's a TikTok star now. It's true, bro.
Fuad, so this super chat from Bartek, big up Bartek. He says, "Does the Spurs have a chance at the FA Cup this season?"
A chance, yeah, sure. We could say a chance. How big is that chance? I don't know, but yeah, of course, there's always a chance. Anytime you're in the cup, there's a chance.
Fair. There's another shout as well, Marla, Danish wing back, but I don't see them. Yeah. But I don't see them selling him now that
Goldens as well. I don't think.
Yeah. I don't see them selling him, to be honest. Another one before I wrap up the stream is Lo Celso. What a waste of money that was.
50 million.
like it was 50 million euros. Yeah, I think it was like 43 million quid in total because it was 15 million pound loan fee and then 28 million pound more to make it permanent. Yeah, I think with Lo Celso, the writing is on the wall, and quite frankly, I'm glad that he is leaving the club. And I think the Ndom deal tells us how important we are prioritizing. Well, how important it is to just get the player out the door at any means, because that deal financially is not good for Spurs. Like, we don't really make much money off the loan fee, and we're still subsidizing his wages. But Spurs want to get it through because they want to free up space and get him at the club. Whilst it doesn't make good business sense, I think it's an attitude that we need to adopt now with some of our other players. Whatever we're asking for Dele, lower it. Please lower it. The priority is to get these men out the door. Get them out the door before, when does the window close tomorrow?
11, I think.
11, whatever. Get these men out the door before 11 p.m. tomorrow. Just get them out. They're not adding anything to this squad, and they want to play football. Getting them out on loan could give us could give both sides the reprieve that's needed, and they could drive up their value and leave on a permanent in the summer, man. Facts. You're smiling, Fuad. What's got you smiling?
The word reprieve. You always throw in these big words every once in a while. Fucking makes me laugh.
Makes you sound more intelligent. He's trying not to be a nerd. He's trying not to be a nerd like Matisse.
It's my favorite thing to pick up on, that when Toes throwing these big words every once in a while, that he picked up on a conference call or something.
Bro, we've been sentenced to purgatory with these players, man. Do we not need a reprieve of this?
Even purgatory, like I have no
idea. Are you not seeing the midfield's gash? Bro,
sorry,
are you not tired of seeing these guys? Like, we need a breather, bro. We need a breather, bro.
I agree.
So,
you do.
So Lee, before we wrap up as well, it seems like your club as well, like you can't, over the past 4 or 5 years, I saw this spreadsheet that's going around on Arsenal Twitter, and your guys have hemorrhaged money. Like the amount of players you've had to cut your losses on, like you're not making a thing. I think Iwobi's the only player in the last couple of years where you've been able to make like a tidy profit, man.
Willock as well, but
Chamberlain.
Chamberlain was like 4 years ago, bro.
But then when you let Aaron Ramsey walk for free, like, you swap Sanchez for Mkhitaryan. I see that. I put it up on my channel yesterday. It's minus 144 mil. Like, it's just a joke, absolute joke. And the thing is, that's why a lot of people are giving Arteta a pass, because look at the shambles he had to go and deal with. Like, he's had to get rid of all these deadwood players. Who cares? You're making out like he's doing some miracle. This is what every football club's supposed to do, right? They're supposed to get out players that are not good enough and go and replace them with ones that are. It's not like it's some rocket science exam that he's passing. Do you know what I mean? It's the basics of football. You run your football club to a high standard to do the best you can to go and win everything. Yeah, and we don't do that. Both of our clubs don't do that. Both our clubs are more interested in merchandise and other things, like with your NFL thing and concerts and that. We're just interested in dropping merch every couple of weeks. We're not interested in winning. Neither are you lot. It's mad. And the thing is, it ain't going to change anytime soon, because if anyone thinks that Ben White will still be here in 3 years, it's crazy.
What the hell are you listening to in the background, man?
Bro,
Ben White will be at Arsenal in 3 years, though, Lee.
No chance.
50 million. I don't see you selling him.
No, but we ain't. This is the problem. I've called him the seaside Mustafi. Yeah, when Mustafi when Mustafi came into Arsenal, we went 26 games unbeaten. His first 26, he never lost a game. Yeah, and everyone was getting hyped and gassed and blah blah blah. Exactly the same with this guy. Watch, in 2 years' time, everyone will turn on him. Yeah, because the adequate centre back is required to push us on. Yeah. It's mad, and we're not going to change anytime soon, because somebody put a great comment in earlier on, right, saying that Arsenal are replacing garbage with garbage. We'll come back to this in 3 years. Absolutely spot on, because if the players are good enough, why does nobody want them apart from Arsenal? It makes no sense to me. So we'll be doing this again in 3 years' time, man.
Let's see, man. Let's see. The couple's last super chat. I can't believe this super chat is actually they're doing my guy Ndom dirty. OS says Ndom reminds me of Zeke from Power, always clueless. I can't believe this, man. This guy's a baller and he's getting he's getting the run around him, man. I think him leaving this league is probably for his own good as well as our good.
I can't wait till you're all one day eating your words. I'm gonna be sat there with my fucking pussy, stroking it. Saying,
wow. Yo, chill. Yo, chill.
Hey, listen.
Chill on me, bro.
Now that's a fact. That's something I always see. Culture cams is Zeke from Power. I don't watch Power, so. Bro, it is the most. I always say he looks like Chouameni and he looks like fucking Anthony Edwards, and someone will always say, "Yo, Culture cams looks like fucking Zeke from Power." I'm like, who is that?
Google him, innit?
I've just had to Google this guy because I don't watch Power. Yeah, I don't watch Power, so I've Googled it. Bro, he does look like him. He does look like him. That's hilarious. He does.
Anyway, good luck to Ndom. Good luck to Lo Celso wherever he lands, but just please get the fuck out of our club. Lads, the last discussion point. I know we're 25 minutes over. I wanted to make this an hour, but the last discussion point. Ousmane Dembele. This is just a general point. Ousmane Dembele. Apparently, he's been offered to a host of Premier League clubs and is available for 18 million. Barcelona want to get rid of him at all costs because he does not want to sign a new deal. And before we talk about wages, the updated rumor is that he's only seeking around 8 million quid in wages. Give me a minute. Give me a minute's discussion on your views on Ousmane Dembele. Is he worth the risk or not? I'll start with you.
Nah, mate, the guy's always injured.
50 bags a week, by the way.
Yeah, he's made a glass, man. He's literally made a glass, and let's be real, it then become into a more intense, quicker, more physical league. Like, La Liga, no disrespect, they've got some good players out there, and there is some good football to watch in Spain, yeah. But it ain't the Premier League, man. It ain't the hustle and bustle. You touch a player out there, they literally go flying on the floor, and it's a yellow card. Like over here, you got not Ben White. I keep saying Ben White. I've got to get him out of my head. Tarkowski and Ben Mee and players like that just go flying straight through you, man. It's like, yeah, get up. It'd be broken inside a week of being in the Premier League. Yeah, and listen, he's got all the technical ability in the world. He's quick. I don't think he's as quick as he was maybe 2 years ago. I think because of the injuries, they might have caught up with him when I've seen him play last. But I just think like he's quick. He can dribble. He can score goals. But the league will eat him, man. The league will eat him. So there's my 1 minute.
Yeah. There's a question from Saeed.
Big up Saeed.
Big up Saeed as well. We'll touch on that after your response on Ousmane. Go on.
This nigga said Bentancur to Lo Celso. Nah, bro. Two complete different players. Like one is a defensive midfielder and a box-to-box midfielder. The other one was a goal scorer coming into the team that was meant to actually provide end products from midfield. I'm sorry. Lo Celso has lived nowhere near up to that. What's he got? I think he's got 3 goals in 3 years or something like that. Some ridiculous.
In the league, he's only scored once. And in the Europa League, he scored like 4 goals against scrubs.
So for me, with him saying Bentancur hype, I don't think anyone is giving Bentancur hype.
No,
do you know what I mean? So there is no real hype. It's just a solid player that I feel like we're getting. And in all honesty, I know for a fact he's wishing United went for a player like that because they've been crying for a DM for a long time. And I think he'd be the perfect player for them, to be honest. But we move.
Okay. And Ousmane, I think my point on Ousmane, I think 18 million is well worth the risk, man. Like 18 million is pennies, bro. Spurs are trying to sell Steven Bergwijn. Did you know that? Spurs are still trying to sell Steven Bergwijn. And yeah, Ajax have actually offered. So what we had, how much did we have knocked back? 18 million euros. So that's what's that in pounds? I don't know, like 16 million quid. So we're saying that we're going to demand more eventually for Bergwijn. And if he does end up leaving Spurs, he's going to leave for more than Ousmane Dembele is available for right now. And we're trying to say no? Come on, man. The guy is actually a baller, bro. Like, he's talented. Absolutely
baller
talented.
hype.
No, it's the truth. He's talented, bro. And he can do it with both feet as well. He can play on both sides. And how old is he? What, like 25 years old? I think 18 million, there's so little risk in that. Like, yes, he's got the injuries, but if you pad your team and you have Ousmane Dembele as an additional piece, go for it, bro. Go for it. I don't see that. Personally, I'd be all over it if I was Spurs.
His injury record, his inconsistencies, I think even being on 150 grand a week just sat at the club. Nah, I'm sorry. And at the minute, what is it? With Kane, huh?
What's Dele doing now?
Dele ain't on 150.
He's on something close to that.
Bruh, he ain't on 150. I'll tell you that for free, bruv. I think he's barely scraping 100.
He's on something close.
He's barely scraping 100.
Nope, not true. He's definitely on over 100 grand a week.
All right, if you can get me confirmation of that, I'd like that. But either way, that don't mean what.
My sources were
because Dele's allowed to do it, we shouldn't let Dembele do it as well.
No. My point is, if you're going to free up wages for the likes of Dele, free up some wages for Endom, free up some wages for Lascelles, Bergwijn out the door, you free up some space there, bro.
Listen, yeah, Dembu's got to move to Dortmund off the back of 6-month first-team football at Rennes, yeah? Then he went to Dortmund, had one good year before he decided he was... Okay, however you want to decorate it, he had a good year, and then he decided, no, I am world boss level talent, went to Barcelona, and now for 4 or 5 years, he has been drowning out of his depth, bro. Whether it's fitness issues, consistency issues, it don't matter. Whether it's him staying up late eating Haribo's, playing Call of Duty all night, bro, he has to take accountability as well for his downfall. And now for it to be like, oh, he's going for 18 million, it's a discount bargain going. There's a reason why he's going for 18 million, bro. I don't want that. Now, if you told me if it was like a Coutinho thing, 6-month loan, I could trial it out, see how it goes. Nah, bro. I don't want 100.
He had a hamstring injury for 7 months. I mean,
yeah, man.
Like, come on. Yeah, the guy is all hype. That's all it is. And FIFA kids will lap it up because he's quick on FIFA and always gets an upgrade. Yeah,
I know I've seen whatsoever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's not that great. Yeah, he's technically good and he's pretty quick and he can score goals. He's too skinny for the Premier League, number one. Yeah, and number two, he's way too fragile anyway.
Facts.
Yeah, it gets battered, mate. Seriously, can you imagine? Yeah, left back. He would absolutely slap him all around the park, mate. He'd be limping off every week.
Chelsea can afford to take that kind of gamble, in my opinion. We can't.
Why? Wait. Why can they afford to take the gamble?
I'm not trying to feed them booze because if we get, guess what? Because if
better players,
if Chelsea get him, here's the thing. Chelsea will get no. If Chelsea get him, he just becomes another Ziyech, another Cho, you become another machine in the system. If we get him, guess what we try and do? We try and build a fucking club around him. Like
I disagree.
3 years we'll be where we with Ndombele, where we with Lo Celso. Year 3, we're still trialing and setting. Now we've decided, you know what? It ain't worked out. This is what we do. If it don't work out for 6 months at Chelsea, you're out the door, bro.
And James cost 18 million.
You're out the door. We get Mendy in.
I'm not saying what you and Lee are saying is wrong. Like, yes, the injuries are a concern. Yes, the attitude is a concern. But what I'm saying is, for the mere fact that he's literally available for peanuts in today's market, and you actually know his talent. You know what this guy is about when he gets on the
field. So you're paying 150 grand a week for talent, is what you're saying?
It's not our money, bro. It's not our money. Who cares?
How long is it?
No. But just because it's not our money, don't mean he's stupid.
I'm not. But how is 18 million plus 150k a week? Is that really stupid on a guy that you can see produce what he can produce? Come on,
when did he last guaranteed? When did he last produce? He's 25 in the summer. How long is it?
You saw him against Madrid in the Super Cup.
Oh, so because of flash up one appearances, you're out your mind.
Listen, we're not going to agree here. We're not going to agree.
You're paying 150 grand a wage for a guy who's giving you flash and ability.
You really think he's not worth the risk? We're not going to agree here. It's cool.
He's 25 in the summer. How long is it before ability gets held up as you're not actually that fucking good, mate?
I guarantee if this was like an English guy, I'm telling you, he would be getting dissed. They would 100%. Be It's a similar format to Damari Gray. Ain't no difference between Damari Gray and Ousmane Dembele. Same story. Tell me I'm lying.
Damari Gray's probably scored more goals this season.
Hey, let me know, speed.
Remember, I'm gonna clip that. You've just said Damari Gray and Ousmane Dembele, same story.
Hey, who's got more goals?
Same story.
Who's got?
You lot
are too desperate for them booze, bro.
A Copa del Rey goal.
Yeah. Listen, let's end this here. Let's end this here. Let's end this here. Yeah. I've asked for your opinions. You don't give me your opinions. I've given you mine. Let's end it. Guys, thank you for hopping on the stream. It's been really good.
Damari Gray's bagged 5 league goals this season.
Yeah,
what's them booze?
Cool story.
Mr. Dembele's got none. He's got 1 goal all season.
How many games has he played?
Is it the one against Madrid?
11 games, 1 goal. Yeah, Damari Gray in all games this season has scored.
I can't even believe you mentioned
6
him.
6 goals, 2 assists. Damari Gray.
Bro,
22 appearances.
He was in the wilderness for years. They said
I
was getting flogged off to Leverkusen for 2 million and shit. They said, "Yo, we don't need you around here."
I can't believe what you mentioned, but let me sign off.
Who's doing what?
So, big up Reggie as well. He says, "I can't believe what I'm hearing. Whenever he is fully fit, he is sensational in a dysfunctional team for the price of Dan James. Oh my God, bruv."
Sorry. Don't skip over that. Man said whenever he is fully fit, as if he didn't try and put a massive caveat within that, bruv. Sorry, when is he ever fully fit? When has Dembele in a single 5 years he's been at Barca had a single fully fit season? But you want to pay him 150 grand a week and make it make sense?
Yes, I do. I think he's talented, and I think he can do stuff on the pitch. And it's not just
the NHS is already on its knees, bro. The NHS is bleeding through COVID. We don't need them.
It's not just a theoretical and hearsay. We've literally seen him do it on the pitch for Barca. But it's fine. It's cool. Let's leave it at that. Fuad, thank you for coming on the stream. Lee, thank you for coming on the stream. It's been amazing having you both here. It's been really, really good viewing here. I think we had like 1,100 views, live views at one point. So that was really sick. Thank you all for tuning in as well. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you leave your comments in the description as well. Any comments you have for me, Liam Fuad, especially Liam Fuad, for what they said to Dembele, their acts are going to be in the description.
This guy trying to get
him. He's trying to get him.
I'm inciting hate. Go stand them. Go and stand them.
Look at this guy trying to get a pile on us. You're a joker.
He's trying to get more views.
All right, lads, thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for hopping on. Folks, thank you for tuning in as well. Look out this week as well. So I think Fuad, we got the THSU show coming up. Whose channel is that? I think that's on Henry's channel, right?
I don't even know. We'll do the roulette thing, bro.
That coming up on Tuesday. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about deadline day moves as well. Lee, what have you got coming up tomorrow?
Well, we're still on today, mate.
Oh, today, sorry.
Tomorrow never comes. And I haven't streamed yet today, other than this. So, time is it now? 8 o'clock here. So, 10 o'clock. So 9 o'clock UK time, man. I'll go live. Just cussing Arsenal's transfer window off again. and then tomorrow, I've actually got a big day tomorrow. Rants at 4 p.m. Henry at 6:30 on his channel. Then Man Knows Football, his channel at 7, and then back live on my channel for the last hour or so of deadline day.
Calm.
So we're working, man. We're working hard.
We're working, boy. Damn. All right.
This is what I say. When people say, "Oh, a footballer's got work rate," who cares, mate? So have I.
This guy, man, he's always going at people.
I'm surprised I've never been beaten up in my life.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and peace out. I will speak to you soon. Take care.
I'll set her out.